Today we're at our main campus, our Eastland building. This is the primary building on this campus. Off to our north are two more buildings that are adjacent on the other side of the parking lot, and then just down from that is our district office where our adult workforce offices are. So we'll take a tour of the Eastland building here, and we'll get started from the front entrance. So normally our students wouldn't use our main entrance unless it's prior to the program when they come in to take their work keys test. So when they do take that test, they'd enter through the main entrance, and then they head to our adult workforce office here where we have a testing center. So we'll take you to the main office and give you a quick tour of the main office. And just inside the main office here is our adult workforce office. This is our testing center for Pearson tests. So I don't believe we have anything going on this evening here, but I'll show you the space. So when students come in to test, they'll check in here at the main desk, take any ID information they need, and then they'll check them in to take whatever Pearson test they are taking. Again, all of our programs, students have to take a work keys assessment, which they have to score a score of a 3 or higher on each 3 components before they can start any of our adult programs. This hallway is used by our adult workforce programs. On the right side is our Pearson Testing Center, and on the left side is our couple offices here. On your left is the office of Lisa Duckworth. She is our counselor. We'll meet her in a little bit. And on this side is our Pearson View Authorized Testing Center. Let me pop open there. We have the ability to test up to 8 students at a time with a proctor here. Right now during COVID, we're cutting that down so we have our distance between each booth, so I believe we're down to 4.
Hi, my name is Pam Mallory, and I am the assessment coordinator at Eastland-Fairfield Career and Technical Schools. My job is to do all the testing. I do the ACT work keys testing for all our classes, which they need to have these before they can get in. I also do Pearson testing. That is for the GED, Ohio State teachers, and several other ones that are with computer, and they keep adding one on. So you can just check on the internet which ones we do. I've been with the district for 16 years in many locations. I'm working on Standard 10.
Hi everyone from COE. My name is Lisa Duckworth. I am the career counselor here at Eastland-Fairfield, and I have been working here since October of 2004. I have a very multi-tasked job. The 3 main things I do with our students are things related to their career. Obviously, I'm not an expert in any of our fields, so what I work with them on are things to prepare them for interviews and things to help them submit the best possible resume, that type of thing. I work with them on issues related to their learning needs. And I work with them on what we at the school call barriers intervention. So that basically means managing or overcoming all the things or any of the things in their lives that are making them have difficulty succeeding here at the school or have the potential to do so, and that possibly could make it difficult for them when they go out into the workforce in their various fields that we are training them for. I worked on Standard 10 Student Services because as the counselor, I am part of the Student Services team, and I look forward to talking with you in March when you do your virtual visit. Thank you.
We'll head down this way to show you the cafeteria area and then make the complete loop of the building. This is the cafeteria utilized by our high school students. Our adult students occasionally will come down this way to maybe get something out of the vending machines here to my right. Normally they're filled up with goodies here during COVID. They're not, but rarely do our students come down here, but evening time. This is the high school media center. Each of our programs have their own little media resource area. So we don't typically utilize this, but we do utilize a computer lab down here from time to time. If students need to do any specific testing, they may come down here, or if they're doing their OSHA 10 training, they'll typically come down here to do it on their computers here. This is kind of a branch wing off of our main square part of our building. This has our multi-purpose room. We utilize this space for our graduation ceremonies, and also we utilize the space for our employability workshop, where we bring business partners in to interview the students. Each of the programs has a section of tables set up, and so they have their own business partners interviewing the students from that particular program. But we'll loop back and actually circle back and close the loop on this main part of the building. Today we're here at our main campus. We're at the Eastland building. This is our HVAC lab. We have a back entrance behind the Eastland building that we have our students come around. We have a small parking lot for adult students here. Again, we try to keep all the entrances to our adult programs separate if possible, to keep the high school students and the adult students separated. So this is our back entrance to our HVAC building.
My name is Walter Rhodes. I'm the adult HVAC instructor for Eastland-Fairfield Career Center at their main campus. I started out as an electronics technician. This is my second career, HVAC. The electronic items I was repairing became throwaway items, so I had to learn a new trade. And I came to Eastland-Fairfield and took their HVAC program. When I graduated, I had started my own HVAC company. Before HVAC, when I was an electronics technician, I was self-employed. I've been self-employed my whole life. First job I've ever had. They called, asked if I wanted to be the HVAC lab instructor. I thought, sure, I'll do that. I gave it a try and it worked out real well. I've been here 12 years now. I worked on Standard 2, also for COE.
Okay, my name is Bob Lane. I am the HVAC instructor for Eastland-Fairfield Career and Tech Schools, the HVAC lab instructor. And we are here at the Eastland building on the main campus. I have been an HVAC instructor for Eastland-Fairfield now for 7 years. Prior to that, I worked out in the field for 24 years. And I have also attended Eastland's HVAC school here. And we are currently working on Standard 2. Okay, after the students complete or done in the classroom, they'll come out here for their lab time. And we are here near our equipment room, so we will start our tour there with the equipment room. Okay, in here is where we store all of our equipment. All of our recovery equipment, our gauges, vacuum pumps, torches, anything the students need to work out there, we have it here. We store some of our supplies here as well. And tools, so everything they need to work with is here. And out here in the lab is obviously where all the equipment is at. On this side of our lab, we have all of our air handlers, heat pumps. We have all that set up on this side here for the students to work on. And they will, this is where out here is where they learn to set them up, braze them, run the AC lines, wire them up, put the thermostats on, troubleshoot them, install the electric heat packages. They do all that out here. And we also have some display items, just so these are things that we've taken out of furnaces. Like this is an old pulse furnace, so we've taken that out and we have that on display for students to see. We also have one over there for them to work on, but this gives them a better view of what some of them look like. And we also let them pull these heat exchangers out of furnaces and reinstall them. We let them take them completely apart. We have some refrigeration equipment we work on. And we have some geothermal. And we have some ice machines for students to work on. Also, we have like a simulator set up here with a blower motor. So we do the same thing in the equipment, but this is just out in the open where it can be a little easier when they're first learning. So we'll let them learn how to take amp draws, voltage readings. We'll show them how to diagnose bad capacitor and those kind of things. So when they're first learning, this is out in the open, it's easier to see. And then later on, we do let them literally pull these out of the furnaces and replace them. But this is just kind of nice to have it out in the open where they can actually see it. And we have all of our gas furnace equipment is over here. And we have a pretty wide selection of equipment. We've got some really high-end equipment and some equipment that's not as high-end, but a lot of this, the older equipment is still out there, so they need to learn how to work on that as well. And so the students will take these furnaces and they will gas them up, set them up. They'll pull the components out of them. And like I said, I will put bugs in these as well as the air handlers and electric furnaces over there for them to diagnose and find the problems. We have other equipment sitting around that isn't installed. Sometimes they'll pull one out, put another one in, and learn how to set it all up and get it all up and running. We have a boiler. This is a residential boiler here. And the students can work on that. And we have that all set up inside here also with our baseboard heaters. So it's a completely functioning system for them to work on. And this is our basement area. When we get a new class, all of this comes out, everything comes out, and there's nothing but just an empty room. And all the ductwork is currently here. We get rid of that. I buy all new ductwork so that they can experience putting the duct together, taking measurements on where heat runs would go, and cutting all the supply airs in and the return airs. We also have a humidifier here, so they learn how to put that on and wire all that up. We have a condensate pump. They learn how to wire that up. And this particular system is a dual fuel system. And what that means is we have a heat pump with a gas furnace. Those take a little bit more of a special setup, and we show them how to do that. And the heat pump for this is actually sitting outside. Some of our equipment, we have some of it, the AC units and heat pumps outside, and they're connected to the units inside, just like it would be in your home. Okay, this is our gas furnaces. This particular furnace is a very high-end furnace. It's a modulating furnace. So this furnace will come on and it'll run at about 35%, and the ideal is for efficiency and comfort. If it does not satisfy the thermostat, this furnace will ramp up in 10% increments, and it'll go all the way up to 100% fire rate if it needs to. And so the students learn how to set these up, because these particular furnaces, they have dip switches and things like that in them. They have to be set up. You have to go tell them, for example, how many CFMs you want in your blower for like cooling, if you have a air conditioner hooked up to it. So it's pretty high-end stuff. And we also have, these are Evolution furnaces by Bryant. They're high-end as well. They have their own communicating type thermostats. These thermostats communicate directly with the board, and so they learn how to set these up and program these. And we also have some higher end thermostats mounted on the wall, like the Nest thermostat, for example, so they get to learn how to go through those and set those up. And we have a really high-end air conditioner. This is a variable speed AC. It has a ECM, electronically commutated compressor in it. This will vary its speed like 5 different levels of compression. So they get the experience wiring those up and setting those up. Okay, this is our outdoor area. We have some commercial units out here, some rooftop units for the students to learn on and work on. And we also have some residential units, a couple ACs, a couple heat pumps. And as you can see from those line sets, those go on in the building, and those are the ones that tie in with some of the equipment inside. So they can get a realistic experience on, like when we're running ACs, the pressure, what they should be on, say, a hot day, for example. They can experience that, and it'll be exactly like what they would experience in if they went out in somebody's home. And of course, we have disconnects for everything, and we have locks for safety reasons, so that somebody can't just go flip things on and cause a problem.
We're going to take a tour of the HVAC classroom where we do the book work and take tests. So if you want to come on in. As you can see, there's only one chair per table. We're following the COVID-19 rules that the governor is issuing. So that's why it looks a little bare. We took the tables out. Well, everything's 6 feet apart. It should be great. We have more than 10 students. We've made some arrangements where we've taken tables out so that we could abide by the COVID-19 protocols. Over here's, I kind of confiscated one of the tables, if you will, where we have the blower motors here in the classroom so that I can show them how to troubleshoot them here. And then they can go out into the lab and get into the actual furnace. This is where I do the lecturing. I have a lot of old items. Some of them are destroyed so that students can see that what not to do. And I like it out like this because when they walk by, they'll look at it and they'll stop and pick it up and look at it and ask questions about it. So it's a little messy, but I like it. It works. And we got the oil burners, the refrigeration condenser unit. This is where we do the PowerPoints. This is really, it's a computer. I've got all kinds of PowerPoints on a flash drive that I use. We do the NCCER curriculum, levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you do get a certification for 2, 3, and 4. And the library. These are some really good books. Here we can go. This is where we can exit. Bathroom is right here. The lab. There's a break room. Microwave, refrigerator, so that you can have a snack or eat your lunch even.
I'm Shannon Long. I'm the police commander here at the Eastland-Fairfield Career Technical Schools Police Academy at the main campus at the Eastland building. I've been with the school system since 2016 after I retired after a 25-year career in law enforcement here in various parts of the state of Ohio. I've been teaching in law enforcement since 2001 at various community colleges and career centers prior to becoming a commander in 2016. I've worked on COE Standard 2.
My name is Slane. I'm at the basic police officer course here at Eastland-Fairfield Technical School. And I chose this program for the flexibility and the hours, the schedule, a morning class and an evening class, just the flexibility to be able to have a job and come here and study. You feel like they're your, not just a mentor, but they're father figures to you, so they actually care about you. If you need help, they're more than willing to help you. Really good references for you as well. And they tell you exactly what to expect once we get out of this academy.
My name is Sizemore, and I'm in the basic police officer training course here at Eastland-Fairfield Career and Technical Schools. What I like most about this program, personally, that I think probably makes this program more unique compared to other schools is, especially being in the police field that I'm trying to learn, is the multifaceted instructor base. Different communities that officers will police in are very different and diverse, whether that's north of your state, south of your state department, and the wide range of instructors that we have here gives, I believe, the students the most overall best aspect of what they're being taught. So if we're doing traffic, yeah, this is a police officer course, this isn't state highway patrol, but we have instructors here who have been patrolmen for the state of Ohio, and they tend to be, subject matter experts in traffic and stops and approaches, felony stops, anything like that. So it's nice having officers more experience in what is being taught specifically in the course being taught, and they do cater to that. So if we are learning about traffic, they will use state troopers. If we are learning about policing in the community and interacting with citizens, they may use an officer from, say, a department like Bexley around here. If it's more like, hey, we're doing crimes and we're doing searches, they might use a department that tends to do more of that, like a Whitehall police officer instructor, or whatever it may be. So that's one of the things I find personally more unique about Eastland Career Center and what they do with their instructors.
Welcome, this is the Basic Police Officer Training Academy at the Eastland-Fairfield Career Technical Schools, Eastland location at our Eastland building. This is the lab where 11 of the 13 modules for basic police officer training takes place. Quick walk around the lab. Over here is our locker room for changing in between various classes. It's an open dojo type lab where everything is accessible to the student pretty much during the class. Over here is our break-in/weight area. The students have to go through at least 40 to 50 hours of physical fitness training during the academy, which is tested at the end and mandated by the state that they must pass the physical fitness standards in order to continue on to their certification testing. So this is made available to them during the class for the classroom portion of it, and also before or after classes for their use of the facilities while they're not in class. Moving on over, you'll notice along that wall is a lot of rubber mats stacked up. This open space where the cruiser is sitting now will be transformed into a padded area where we do subject control and defensive tactics. We can cover a 30 by 60 area with the mats, and to allow all the students on the class mat space to get on the ground as we do different techniques with them. The area in between the weight room and the mat storage is just another storage and break area. We have just refrigerator, snack machines, area for the students if they want to fix themselves a snack or whatever before or after class. And the storage lockers are there for the instructors. I will leave various instructors different materials that they can access and have for the class. Above the mats is another storage area for the modules that's not being, for materials for modules that's not currently being taught. Again, at the other corner of the lab, we have another gym set up with full novelist equipment. Again, access to the students during class and after class if need be, to make sure that they can get through their physical fitness standards and make it to state certification. Across the lab, you'll notice the classroom portion of the lab. Right now it's all pushed aside to allow room to get vehicles in here because we're doing the stops and approaches portion of the class. They will be spread out facing the front where the instructor will give lab lectures for various topics that we cover. Again, the academy is broke down into 13 topics. 11 of them are taught here on campus. Firearms is taught off campus at our indoor shooting facility at LAPD on Bethel Road, and driving is taught at the Fairfield campus in the parking lot. That pretty much wraps up the tour, and that is the Basic Police Officer Training Academy here at Eastland. Thank you.
My name is Jason Harget. I'm one of the instructors here at Eastland-Fairfield Career Center for the Police Academy. I'm also the director with Ohio Health and also the police chief for the village of Crookersville. I've been an instructor since 2014, and what I've learned here with Eastland, and why I'm still part of this program, it teaches robust training. So it's not just about training as you get at some other agencies or departments, but Eastland-Fairfield teaches education, and that's what these officers need to make sure that they're prepared mentally when they hit the streets. We actually are currently recruiting officers right out of this program at Eastland-Fairfield Career Center. Again, these officers are prepared mentally and physically when they hit the streets or when they hit the care sites. Again, speaking from the road with Crookersville PD, and obviously for our healthcare system at Ohio Health. These officers come to us with, like I said, 7 months of training, very prepared to do the job.
How you doing? My name is Ken McCoy. I'm the Chief of Police for the Village of South Bloomfield. I've been an instructor here for the past 18 years. What's nice is coming back to this school. I actually graduated here in 1997. Graduated, came back 3 years later, which is a state requirement. I've been here for a long time. One of the reasons why I came back here is because of the level of education and hands-on that we give our students. We send them out of here prepared for a great career in criminal justice field. And for me, it's a great way to stay on top of the education and recruiting for me. So I see the kids for approximately 7 months to 8 months now. We bring them in, I teach them, from A to Z, and then shove them out and say, you're a great officer, do what you need to do. The great thing with me is that I see them from day one, and I follow them all the way through the last day. So I get to know them, their personalities, sometimes their families, how they do react in a training situation or in a high-tense situation. Which again is a lot better for me as an employer because I can bring them in knowing what they're going to do.
This building is laid out in a square with a courtyard in the middle. Our adult programs occupy the back side of the building, which includes the HVAC program and the basic police officer training program. They each have their separate entrances from the exterior. The welding program is right down this hallway. Typically we have our students enter this doorway. Since we're right now during COVID, we're actually using an adjacent building for the classroom because we can spread the students out 6 feet apart and have them all in the same space, so that accommodates the number that we have. But normally they would enter this door and walk down the hallway to enter their classroom. So we'll walk down the hallway and show you where that is. This is the entrance to our welding classroom. And then right through the classroom is our welding lab.
So my name is Singleton. I'm the adult welding instructor here at the Eastland campus. So I went here in 2015 and 16. I'm a graduate of the welding program. It changed my life, and several years I've been graduated now, working in the industry. Repairing things like heavy equipment is what I specialize in. Started a mobile welding company. We've been in business for about 1.5 years. Things are going smooth, and then about a year ago, I got the opportunity to take this position here at Eastland Career Center to teach the adults, the welding industry. So it was something that I couldn't pass up. It's like a dream come true. The welding program changed my life, and I just want to give back and be able to change several other people's lives here and help them learn the welding industry, because it's a great career. I'm working on COE Standard 2. We learn MIG welding, TIG welding, flux core, stick, TIG. So these guys get to get their hands on a lot of different material. So when they go out there into the industry, when they get out into the industry, they already know what they're doing, on stainless, aluminum, steel, to where a lot of other places, might only offer you, steel learning or, TIG welding, to where it's, the whole welding technique, and you get it all here at Eastland, so, why wouldn't you come? We're at the Eastland Career Center welding lab that we share with the high school. Then we do the adult welding program here in the evening times. And I'm going to take you on a little tour. So this is our cabinet where we try to keep our stick welding rods and our wire. It's kind of just like a storage cabinet for that. Over here we got the shear. We chop up all our material here. Makes it fast and easy. It's a nice machine. And then we're going to head over here. We just got this nice new saw here. We're going to put it to work here in about a week or so once we get some fluid in it. But this is really going to help us out on cutting our test coupons. And then over here, I'm going to take you into the classroom here a little bit. Okay, so this is our normal classroom here, right off the shop. Right now we just use it for brief things. We have a bigger classroom across campus a little bit that we use, where people can be a little more spaced out for the time being, but this is the main classroom. So over here we have a CNC that we can burn off just all kinds of different signs and images and some really cool stuff that we can do with the CNC here. Over here we got our ovens that we keep our welding rods in, and just different toolboxes. I'll take you down here. So we have a cool metal roller here and also a steel brake, some good tools in the shop. So this is the iron worker here. This is an awesome machine. We use it for like shearing material, like angle iron, flat stock. We can punch holes with it. We can notch pipe, tubing. So we can do a lot of cool things with this. A lot of shops will have this for like production stuff. So this is an awesome tool. So this is our torch and plasma cutting section. This is our steel table that we do all the cutting on. We got all our torches back here and the plasma cutter over here. And we do, all kinds of different forging, cutting, and stuff like that. So this is our steel inventory here. We got all kinds of different steel, pipe, flat stock, and this is what the adult welding program uses here. So this is a Lincoln Electric welder here, a multi-purpose one. It does the stick, MIG, and TIG. It's easy to set up, easy to use. Settings on it are very easy to go through. So, for coming in as a beginner welder, it's not very difficult to, go through the settings and get it to the proper procedure that you need. So this is our Media Resource Center here. This is where we keep extra textbooks and welding information over here. This is the high school computer cart. We have one of these carts that's just in our other classroom across campus a little bit for the time being. This is our welding magazine display. Guys, get a little too hot out in the booth and they want to come in here and do some research, or maybe find a new welding hood or jacket, or do some research on something, specific. We try to keep these up to date, with new information and new product. So, the students can come in here and, read for a little bit. So here's a good example of, a project that we can do out of the shop here at Eastland Career Center Welding. This is a rocker chair here. It's not finished yet, obviously, but this is just kind of an example of, the kind of work we can do out of the shop here. So I'm going to take you guys into the tool room. So this is where we keep a lot of our hand tools, extra cords, hoses. These are student toolboxes here with numbers on them that they can store their stuff up here. Down in here is just a big storage bin of grinders, and then these are all just filled up with different hand tools, hammers, and clamps that we use out in the shop. So big key here in welding is safety. Welding is a very dangerous trade. So safety is key for us. The first thing we'll do in the program is we'll take a 10-hour OSHA class, and you'll be OSHA certified for the 10-hour course. We take safety very serious. We are big on PPE, safety gloves, steel-toed boots, goggles, safety glasses, tinted shields, and make sure all these guys are welding inside their booths, behind the curtains. We got fire extinguishers everywhere, because we deal with a lot of fire and hot. So safety is a very big key. So this program is a great place to learn how to weld with all the different tools and equipment that we have here at Eastland Career Center.
Yeah, I'm TaLisa Black. I actually chose Eastland because it's close to where I live, and it wasn't actually my first choice, but I'm actually really glad I went with it because everybody here is like their own family. Everybody helps everybody. There's no getting stuck, because if you are stuck, you can just go to your neighbor in any one of these booths and ask them for help. And I chose to be a welder because, well, I worked at a job like a really long time ago, and I wanted to be part of the welding that was in that job, but they told me I was too small, and because I'm a girl, I couldn't do it. So I'm mainly here to prove them wrong and to prove to myself that I have no limitations on the things that I'm capable of. This is my project. It's actually upside down. Hold on. and it's going to be a wine rack. I have the wood for the top and the wood for the bottom. I just need to get the rack part on so that way it can hold the wine glasses. And I actually plan on doing a lot more with this because it's not just the metal. I like poly resin too, and it's just, yeah, when I start these projects, I like to go beyond what we actually do. When we started the program, 2 weeks in at least, we got these bags that our tuition pays for. It comes with a helmet, gloves, wire cutters. We even got a jacket, an extra shield helmet, and all of this stuff is ours to keep after this. And the fact that we get this is amazing.
Hi everyone, my name is Hector Rivera, and I am currently enrolled in the Eastland Career Center and the adult welding program. I'm an Army vet, served 21 years in the military. After I left the Army, went back home, and I wasn't quite necessarily sure what I wanted to do. I had my degree in chemistry originally, but didn't necessarily want to go back to that career field. So I started looking online for a potential opportunity that I can go back to school and learn a new career on something that I always wanted to learn as a kid, which is welding. Been in the program since September of 2019. It's been great so far. It gives me a great opportunity to not only learn a great career that I can use immediately after graduation, but at the same time something that I can do with my hand and be a contributor to this great country. With me is one of the most recent projects. It's just a simple table that can be used in the shop, just made out of ankle irons, and then a couple of plates. My plan is just to use it potentially as a drill press, but I'm not quite sure exactly if that is the route that I want to go. Upon graduation later on this year, I'm hoping that I can actually become a mobile welder, that I can bring my equipment on some kind of a trailer, and I can do mobile services not only to shops but at the same time to people who actually need my services within the area as well.
Hello, my name is Susan Gaunce, and I'm the HR Generalist at Komar Industries in Groveport, Ohio. I've served for 5 years on the Eastland-Fairfield Adult Welding Advisory Board. At Komar, we design and manufacture large, heavy industrial equipment used by our customers to process high volumes of waste and recyclables. Our machines are built using primarily short and spray arc welding, and our welders need to be able to read and follow blueprints and layout specifications. The Eastland-Fairfield High School and Adult Campus is located less than a mile from our facility, so it's convenient to collaborate on many levels. I've enjoyed working with the students on their resumes and job interviewing skills. We've conducted tours of our facility for classes and hired students. Our production lead is also an advisory board member and has made curriculum suggestions, and Komar Industries has donated equipment for use in the classroom. Participating on the Eastland-Fairfield Advisory Board has enriched our experience as a local manufacturer, and we consider them an important resource and community partner.
So this is the entrance to our customized training center. This is housed here at our main campus, not at the Eastland building, but this is the Auto Tech Training Center. We've taken a space in the back end of that building and remodeled it into our customized training center. And we can do just about any type of training you can think of out of this space. We've designed it to be multi-purpose so we can transition it from one topic to another very quickly. But the purpose is the businesses around this region can come to us with a specific training need. We typically look at our NCCR modules, so it's maintenance-based, and package several modules together for them based on their needs, and then their employees come to us and our trainers train them. So we will go ahead and enter the main lab space. Okay, this is the primary space. This was already here. We've built on to both ends of it within the last 2 years to add on. What kind of drove this project was a partnership with the Ohio State University. We were training their maintenance staff of about 350 individuals. We were upskilling their maintenance skills and then trying to provide training so they would have a pipeline of people coming in because they have a large amount of their employees that will be retiring within the next year or two. So that's what drove this whole space, but it's designed so that we can work for any customer in the region to do any type of maintenance-based training for them. So this space is designed to include anything from carpentry training to plumbing to electrical to HVAC to welding. You name it, we can deliver in this space. And again, it's multi-purpose, so we can shift things around for whatever need is necessary at that point in time. So if you turn around here, we see a couple pieces of HVAC equipment. Those were pulled out of our adult HVAC lab. Most of our equipment is still over in that lab, but when we need equipment, we'll pull some pieces over here just for the short term. So that whole area is designed for HVAC. We can pull things out, plug them in. This is one of our 2 classrooms in this space. This actually is the classroom that our adult welding program is using during their classroom time. You can see it's much bigger than the classroom that's attached to their lab. We can spread the students out. We started out with 18, I think we have 16 now currently, so we've got plenty of space for 16 students to spread out safely during the COVID situation. So we've got all of our technology in here, our TVs in each room, computer card up front. So we're set up to roll with about any type of training you can imagine. We're going over here. This is, well, we'll start here. This is a carpentry-based training area. We framed up some walls. It was designed to demonstrate how to hang and finish drywall. So we threw some walls up quickly and tried to create different inside-outside corners to provide the typical job site situations or scenarios that they would encounter so they could practice with those. This whole area here is dedicated to our plumbing training. You'll see the back side of this wall has all the main supplies and the drain lines attached, so we can show a student what things would look like behind the walls. But if we come around here, you see the interior. That would be a typical restroom in a commercial facility. We specifically designed it with concrete masonry unit walls on one side, steel stud walls on the other, to demonstrate how what types of wall systems fixtures could be hung from, so they could understand both the finished side and the back side of those walls. So if you come on around here, and I'll tell you a quick story. This was originally an auto lab, and this was sunken in for an alignment rack. And we saw the void in the floor and saw the drain, and we're like, what can we use this space for, not fill it all in? And of course, plumbing popped into my mind. We're like, let's use it for a plumbing training station. So it's worked out well. We poured a little bit of concrete there, plumbed in some drain lines. Everything dumps out into the floor drain here, so it's served its purpose real well. It keeps the water from just rolling across the floor. So all of the fixtures are also designed so that we can turn on water pressure to one fixture and let that person work on that fixture. So they have to shut the water system down and then replace whatever they're replacing or change out a fixture. And then once they hook everything back up, we can turn the water pressure back on to test for any leaks. So it's a real live example of what they would see out in the field. So this backside too is the supply lines and drain lines for the fixtures that you saw inside the finished space. We've got a pump system overhead so they can work on a circulation pump. We also have a little steam trap demonstration along that wall for steam systems. That was part of our OSU project that they were assessing their new hires on. In one of the newer additions here, originally this was going to be a receiving space. The need came up in the middle of the project for welding, so we went ahead and plugged in 3 welding booths. We're set up to do all 4 primary types of welding processes in each booth. We have filtration systems attached to each booth, so we can do just about any type of welding training you can think of here. Obviously on a small scale, but with our current lab being shared by the high school and at adults, we didn't have any other time during the day where we could serve a small class of welding students at any given time. So this provides us this opportunity. This side is just for more storage, welding material, some other additional welding equipment, some plumbing supplies there, and an overhead mezzanine there for storage as well. Our plumbing display extends across the aisleway here. This is our threading machine. So again, anytime you're in plumbing, you're dealing with black pipe, you might be running gas lines, we can teach how to thread those pipes the proper way with the machine here. So that's been a popular training tool. And then we have all things electric and electronics. This was a trainer that our instructor built from scratch. Again, this was designed so that we could use 4 different stations. So this has the same setup 4 different times, 2 on the side, 2 on the back side, so we can have maybe pairs of students working on a project. But we can do anything from a motor control hookup to single pole switch to receptacle to a 3-way switch to a breaker system. So anything within an electrical system we can lay out and design and have a project for students to either build out or replace or repair. So it serves multi-purpose. This side is more electronic controls, variable frequency drives, motor controls too. This is an area that I'm not an expert at, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but again, it's more of the operating systems that you might find in, say, a factory environment, that you've got a computer system telling certain motors to come on at a certain time, to run at a certain speed or RPM, and then everything's monitored and controlled off of like variable frequency drives or PLCs, program logic controllers. So that's kind of on the higher end of electrical controls. We even have some medical type of equipment here. OSU had a need for that, so we've got components you might find on the wall of a patient's room, a bed wall, oxygen, med vac, med air, the pressure to them, monitoring the air pressure that you'd have on your oxygen. Even have this is a tube system like the banks use, but the hospitals will use them for moving like medicine from one end of the hospital to the other, or multiple floors. So this is another OSU driven project that we have the equipment to show them how to replace out. There's a slide drawer in there that wears over time that they typically have to replace, or even a motherboard that they have to change out if it's not operating correctly. We have, this is more HVAC equipment that's worked, it's run off of pneumatic controls, so air. That's something we have a trainer in the other room you'll see in a moment that's a hydraulic and pneumatic trainer, but this is more of an example of HVAC equipment that's driven by a pneumatic thermostat, and that's typically what your campuses like OSU would have. Most of their older buildings their HVAC systems are operated off of pneumatic controls. More motor controls on this back wall. Again, just different stations that we can create scenarios that they would find out in a business or a facility on campus or anywhere in that matter of manufacturing environment, that we can train to how to, one, safely troubleshoot electronical problem, and then identify the problem and then replace out or swap out items, whether it's a capacitor or motor or variable frequency drive or anything at that matter. So have a fire alarm system. We've got a pull station. Basically this would be, again, driven by OSU's needs. being able to identify where a problem is, being able to change out just maintaining a sensor head or a pull station, make sure your wires are wired back up correctly, and then test the system out once you're done. A few fan motors here, changing out a motor, adjusting the pulley, the belt system that drives that off of the main motor. There's belt alignment we need to address there, pulley alignment, so a little bit of everything here. So this is more for carpentry. This is a trim saw, compound miter trim saw. Typically use this for trim around a wood door or wood windows. So one of the assessments we do is to hang a wood interior door and then to trim out the casing around that, so they can use this saw to do that. We also do steel doors, steel frame. This is a knockdown steel frame door with a wood slab. We can do closure systems, repair or adjust closure systems, door latch systems, and then this will be the same type of a door frame, only a steel door. So again, in a matter of 20 to 30 minutes, you can install this door. So we can take this all apart. The head jambs and side jambs will be in 3 different pieces. The slab's separate from the hinge, and then they can install all that together and demonstrate that they can install a door properly. We'll wrap around to the interior here. This was, we built these walls again to represent newer commercial construction with our steel studs. Obviously, typically with steel studs, we have steel door frames, and then you have typically a drop-down ceiling or suspended ceiling. So we've got a grid work in here. We can have students replace out light fixtures. On the electric side of it, on the carpentry side, we can have them change out ceiling tiles. This is a recessed ceiling tile, so it's not a flush mount, it drops down in, so there's a little edge rim, where on the outside perimeter you've got to put a special cut into it, so that's sometimes a challenge for someone that does not have carpentry skills established yet. And then obviously the walls here, this is more of a wall system that we'd hang drywall off of. We've got hat channel on the wall, typical commercial construction, so being able to show students what the interior of those walls look like when they're working on surfaces or trying to troubleshoot what might be happening in a wall. That gives them a better perspective, plus we can use it to hang commercial drywall to steel stud wall system. So, and then we'll head on over here in our second classroom. This was designed initially to be our clean room for some of our higher end trainers. We have a amateur trainer here that is teaches both hydraulics and pneumatics. So we've got boards that we can change and replace out here we can cover beginning and intermediate hydraulics and pneumatics. So we're talking air-driven equipment or fluid-driven equipment. A lot of your factories, manufacturing centers will have this type of equipment driving the machines. So that's in fairly high demand in this region. So we only have one piece of equipment there. We're planning on purchasing a few more, but this space we kind of had to set up on short notice because we needed to run 2 classrooms at the same time, so this became dedicated as a smaller classroom. So again, we can pull tables out of here and shove more trainers in. We've got a lot of versatility in this space to be able to work with whatever the region or industry demands of us. And then lastly, we have an office back behind me here that houses our 2 full-time instructors for customized training. And that pretty much concludes our tour of our customized training center.
Okay, my name is John Stump. I'm one of the instructors here for the customized training. We train adults for the skilled trades, which is maintenance, construction, along those lines. I am the electric instructor, plus a few other things inside this shop. What was done here for COE was standard 6. We helped Todd along with that.
My name is Dr. Daniel Briggs, and I'm the trades coordinator here and also an instructor. And I work mostly with plumbing and some with carpentry. As you can see behind me, we have a facility here that's set up quite nicely for this particular area of training. This is mostly to help local businesses when they have some of their employees that need to have some training. We provide that, particularly focused around maintenance. I've been doing this for almost 2 years, and I also helped my supervisor Todd with Standard 6, with the COE Standard 6. And I think this is a really great opportunity for the local businesses.